There is a silent epidemic among kind-hearted people, among peacemakers, among those who desperately want to build bridges. It's the epidemic of exhaustion, of resentment, of feeling used and taken for granted. You give and you give. You say yes when your entire soul is screaming no. You absorb the emotional demands of others until you have nothing left for yourself. You do this because you believe it's the price of peace. You fear that if you say no, if you draw a line, if you prioritize your own well-being, you will be seen as difficult, selfish, or you will burn a bridge you worked so hard to build. So you remain silent, you compromise your integrity, and the resentment builds, slowly poisoning the very relationships you are trying to preserve. If this is you, I want you to hear this clearly today. Setting a boundary is not an act of bridge burning. It is an act of bridge maintenance. A bridge without clear railings is dangerous. A bridge that cannot bear the weight of constant traffic will collapse. Your personal boundaries are those railings. They are the structural integrity that allows for safe, sustainable, and healthy connection over the long term. Today, we are going to learn the art of building those railings, the art of setting boundaries with the heart of a bridge builder. Let's first dismantle the core misconception that traps so many of us. The belief that being a good person, a peaceful person, means being endlessly accommodating. This is a catastrophic error. True peace cannot be built on a foundation of self-betrayal. When you consistently override your own needs to manage the feelings of others, you are not creating peace. You are creating a covert contract. The unspoken agreement is, I will sacrifice my well-being for you, and in return, you will like me and not cause conflict. But when the other person inevitably fails to uphold their end of this unspoken bargain because they never agreed to it, the resentment within you boils over. This resentment will leak out in passive-aggressive comments, in emotional withdrawal, or in a sudden, explosive burnout that does far more damage than a clear, early boundary ever could. The bridge builder understands that a small, intentional adjustment today prevents a catastrophic collapse tomorrow. Your needs are not an inconvenience to peace. They are a component of it. Your well-being is not separate from the harmony you seek. It is essential to it. So, how do we do this? How do we move from silent resentment to clear, compassionate limits? Let's walk through a practical 4-step framework. The first step is internal clarity. You cannot communicate a boundary you haven't defined for yourself. This requires honest self-reflection. Ask yourself, what specific behavior or situation is draining my energy or violating my values? What is the need of mine that is not being met? Is it a need for rest, for respect for my time? For emotional safety, get crystal clear on the what and the why internally before you ever speak a word. The second step is calm and clear communication. This is where we apply the principles of nonviolent communication. You state the boundary as a fact about your own behavior, not a rule for theirs. The formula is simple. When observable situation, I feel my emotion because I have a need for my core need. Therefore, I will my boundary action. Notice the power of I will. Instead of you have to stop calling me after 9 p.m., you say, when I receive calls after 9 p.m., I feel anxious because I need to protect my wind down time for sleep. Therefore, I will not answer my phone after that time, and I will return your call the next morning. This shifts the focus from controlling them to governing yourself. It is inherently less confrontational and more empowered. The third step is to prepare for and manage the pushback. Almost no one celebrates when you set a new boundary. People who are used to you having no limits will test the new ones. They may get angry, guilt-trip you, or act hurt. This is the critical moment. Your job here is to hold the line with empathetic firmness. This is the bridge-building part. You can acknowledge their feeling without abandoning your boundary. You can say, I understand that this is frustrating for you, and I hear that you're upset. My need for a sustainable schedule remains, so my decision stands. You are not arguing with them. You are simply restating your position with calm compassion. The fourth step is consistent enforcement. A boundary stated but not enforced is just a suggestion. It teaches people that your words have no weight. If you said you would not answer the phone after 9 p.m., then you must not answer it. Every time you enforce the boundary, you are strengthening the railings on your bridge. It's difficult at first, but it becomes easier, and eventually, people will learn to respect your limits, and the relationship can recalibrate on healthier, more honest terms. Now, let's talk about common mistakes to avoid. The biggest mistake is delivering the boundary with anger and blame. If you shout, "I'm sick and tired of you disrespecting my time," from now on, I'm not answering your late calls. You have indeed burned a bridge. The content is similar, but the aggressive tone makes it an attack. Another mistake is over-explaining and justifying. You do not need to write a dissertation to defend your need for rest or respect. The more you explain, the more you invite debate. A boundary is a statement, not a negotiation. A third error is setting a boundary you are not willing to enforce. This destroys your credibility and makes future boundaries even harder to set. Here is an expert mediation tip. Think of boundary setting as defining the playing field. You are not telling the other person how to play the game. You are simply marking the lines within which a fair and enjoyable game can be played. This frame makes it less about personal rejection and more about creating a structure for a healthy interaction. Everyone knows the rules and everyone can play safely. The psychological principle at work is that of self-differentiation. You are maintaining your own emotional identity and integrity in the face of pressure from others. You are saying, "This is me and that is you." I am responsible for my well-being, and you are responsible for your reaction to my choices. This is the mark of a mature, healthy individual. I want you to think of one small, specific boundary you need to set. Maybe it's with a coworker who constantly dumps last-minute work on you. Maybe it's with a family member who makes critical comments. Use the 4-step framework. Get clear internally, craft your "I will" statement, anticipate their reaction, and commit to consistent enforcement. Start small. The muscle of boundary setting gets stronger with each repetition. In conclusion, being a bridge builder does not mean you have to be the bridge that everyone walks all over. It means you have the wisdom to build a structure that is strong, resilient, and safe for two-way traffic. Your boundaries are not walls. They are the dignified, self-respecting gates to your inner world. They allow you to engage with others from a place of abundance, not depletion. My call to action for you is this. In the comments below, share one boundary you are committing to setting or strengthening this week. Name it. By declaring it, you take a powerful step toward making it real. And, as always, a necessary note of responsibility. This framework is for managing relationships with generally reasonable people. If you are in a situation with someone who is abusive, manipulative, or poses a threat to your safety, a simple boundary may not be enough. In those cases, your priority is safety, and you must seek support from professionals, authorities, or trusted support networks. Thank you for the brave work you are doing to build a more honest and sustainable peace in your life. I am Habila, and I am honored to be on this journey with you.